Ronaldo, very unhappy.
Yeah, it broke late last night. In some of the papers, it's gone to the front page where it belongs, quite frankly. It's a huge, huge story. He promised he would have convey his side of the story back in the summer when things are playing out, not necessarily from a PR point of view as he would want to, but he's come out last night and said that basically Man United have betrayed him. Now, the situation, as we know with Ronaldo, is that he's been in and out of the team this season, not really got on with the manager. He's trying to manoeuvre and engineer his way out of the club. But this interview is quite explosive. I mean, he's actually said things like he has no respect for the manager. He's in a weak position here a little bit because United are quite handily placed. They won yesterday. They're fifth in the table. The progress is generally, incrementally going in the right direction. As I say, they're on the edge of the Champions League places. If he'd be in a stronger position of saying this if they'd lost three in a row or something. Yeah. He said that Erik ten Hag has no respect for him, which is why he's not giving respect back. There's other things as well. He said
is he not in breach of contract somewhere along the line?
Well, he is, but I think he wants United to cancel the contract. Real life doesn't really come into these contracts, Stephen. You know, these are mega stars. There's no benefit to Man United having an unhappy star on their hands. Certainly not a superstar like him. I mean, it gets quite dark. I mean, he accuses the club of not supporting him during the problems he had at the start of the season with his daughter. Remember, he lost a son earlier in the year as well. So there's more to come on that later in the week. I mean, we can shed a lot more light on that as and when. He said the club had made zero progress from when he left. I mean, he left in 2009. He said the canteen's still the same, the chefs are still the same. He said the chefs are pretty good, but they're working with the same stuff. You know, the same kind of building. The swimming pool's the same. I would say that.
What a shocker!
Well, it is
awful. He's got to eat the same food. He's only got the same chefs and the same.
Yeah, I know. We have to. This is elite sport. Man, all other clubs are overtaking them. Tottenham have built £100 million, or several hundred million pound stadium since then.
All of this is irrelevant, whether or not. Surely, if he's good enough to play, they would play him.
The problem
you
is
talk about him being a star, but is he good enough anymore?
Yes,
he's not young.
No, he's not young, but this is the thing. So he scores goals, but he often scores goals when the team is not necessarily. People think that it's all about him. Now, all clubs now, pretty much every club all around Europe plays in a certain way. It's about high pressing. So your forwards have to run around and chase down defenders. He's too old for that because I wouldn't say his legs have gone, but he's not going to ferry into or scurry into channels and shut down defenders and goalkeepers and stuff like that. It's just not his game. And that's why he probably ended up at Manchester United, because in the summer of 2021, even when he's slightly closer to his peak than he is now, he didn't have anywhere to go. There were no options. Juventus let him go because he was too expensive. If you invite Cristiano Ronaldo and the circus that goes with him into your club, you've got to tear up any plans that you have, because most clubs he goes into, he's probably going to be bigger than the club, in all honesty. You know, he's not bigger than United. United is perhaps the biggest club in the world, as you know. You're from up that neck of the woods, Stephen. You know what that club means to people locally and internationally. But he said that Ralf Rangnick as well, the manager who took over this time last year, he said he was a sporting director. He wasn't even a coach. I mean, this calls into question. This is throwing a torch to the entire club, an institution like Manchester United, which he's been involved in now for nearly 20 years, notwithstanding 12 years he spent apart from it. He still had a link with the club in that period. He said that the key people in the club don't just not want him there, but they didn't want him back in the first place.
But isn't this making it more difficult for him to go anywhere else? He's burning his career,
Yes, he is. Well, I don't think he's going to play for United again. So the timing is quite strategic. We're just about to go into the World Cup. He's got to link up with Portugal. I think he feels more comfortable talking now, because when you're within that machine, that apparatus of Manchester United, you do find yourself curtailed in terms of what you can say. He doesn't. He played against Aston Villa last week. They lost 3-1. They got a good result yesterday at Fulham. But if he goes away now into the World Cup, he's going to be free of the shackles of United and the shadow controlling everything he's saying. And he's come out and said this. This is completely calculated. It's engineered to get a move to try and cancel his contract. The question is, though, where he goes and his relationship with the Manchester United fans. I mean, like, how much do you take of someone just dragging your club through the mud? There's two sides of every story. Remember Roy Keane? He demanded higher standards. Maybe you could say that's what Cristiano Ronaldo is doing here. I think that in the fullness of time, he will re-establish his reputation at Manchester United. But for now, it's about getting out of that club.
Oh.
All right.
Interesting. Aidan, thank you very much indeed.
You.
Good to see you.
Ouch. Now...